Why has it been so difficult to remove Hamas from Gaza or disarm it? One of the reasons is because insurgent or terrorist groups tend to want to control and sort of swim amongst civilians, and that is what Hamas has done successfully. It has been able to continue to control around 2 million people in Gaza throughout the last 2 years of war. And if you want to look at a successful example of how you get rid of a group like Hamas, a terrorist or insurgent group, you could look at the 10-month campaign for the city of Mosul in Iraq, where ISIS was defeated in 10 months. And the way it was defeated was in a city of around 2 million people, about the same size as Gaza. The people were able to move from Mosul to IDP camps, and then the Iraqi army went street by street by street and removed ISIS systematically, and then let the civilians come back with a new government and security force. And today, Mosul is a thriving city. It has an airport, it's peaceful, there's no terrorism. So you could use that model for Gaza, but it would have meant over the last 2 years giving the civilians an opportunity to not live under Hamas rule. And unfortunately, the civilians in Gaza have always been asked to evacuate from areas the IDF operated in to move to areas Hamas runs, which gives Hamas the control. And there's no militias or clans or other groups in Gaza that have ever been able to control anything besides, maybe a few houses or a few blocks of land. They never control, they don't govern. And at the end of the day, if you want civilians to be out of Hamas rule, they have to have an alternative. They have to have governance and schools and a Hamas-free zone and other security forces. And that's very difficult because no one has stepped forward to do that. And Israel has opposed having the Palestinian Authority do it. And so it's not entirely clear how the Gaza deal that was signed October 8th can get to the next stage of disarmament and new forms of governance if you can't begin to give any of the civilians in Gaza a place that they can live a normal life without Hamas controlling everything and being in the streets. And so that's going to be always the big hurdle. Hamas has controlled Gaza successfully for decades, basically for decades, either behind the scenes or after 2007, controlling it completely. And that's why it's able to do it, because it's always amongst the civilians, and there's not usually anyone that can govern the civilians or secure those civilian areas and actually confront Hamas or create a kind of Hamas-free zone.